Grab a cup of joe, buckle up, and let's embark on a journey of self-discovery, creativity, and entrepreneurship. Let's get rolling.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Rhythm of the Road podcast. So I've been having a lot of conversations with a lot of people in a lot of different organizations and doing some coaching calls with people. And I thought it would be really awesome, not just for me, but also for you, the listener, and those of you watching, to do just like this little mini series on like designing your week. What does that look like? And so I want to walk through a couple different pieces. It'd probably be about like a 2 or 3 part series and kind of just break it down and build it back up and give you something actually physically tangible to take away with you. And by physically, I mean just giving you the information here, unless I come up with something cool and put it down here in the show notes, but I'll keep you posted on that. So this idea of designing your week, so many people run through their week, some by the seat of their pants, some by their 17 calendars that are flowing into their one mobile device or their computer, desktop, whatever it looks like. And some without any just rhyme or reason about it. Some of you are very methodical about it and don't provide any space or any opportunity. So I kind of just want to break it down a little bit. And this part 1 is just about assessing before you actually address what you're going to do for the week. And one of the simplest, easiest ways to assess what you're doing throughout the week is to just physically do a time study. Like break down your week. And if you want to do just your work week, you can do Monday through Friday. I suggest you do the whole week, like a Sunday to Saturday, or even do a 2-week time period if you really want to break it down so that you have an understanding of what it looks like. Because we all know that not every week looks the same all of the time. And it's not supposed to. We want that variety, or our personal life gets into things and, stuff just happens. Life happens, and we don't ever know exactly when things are going to hit. So during this time study, what the easiest way to do it is make an Excel spreadsheet or print off a piece of paper and segment out the day in 15-minute increments and be just very methodical and very crazy about it. Now, depending on when you wake up and start your day, and by start your day, like I wake up at 5 and I start my day by 5:30. Well, you might wake up at 5, but you don't start your day until 7 or 8. And so just pick the same starting point every single day. I recommend you do it from the moment you wake up, but sometimes we're a little groggy or we have our own morning way of getting started for the day. And whether that includes a morning routine or not, just pick the same starting time every day. So if you want to start at 7 a.m., take 7 a.m. and go to 7 p.m. Give yourself a 12-hour time frame each and every day, whether you do that the 5-day Monday through Friday or you do the Sunday through Saturday. I don't want to say work week because everybody's work week looks a little bit different. So either choose the 5-day Monday through Friday or the 7-day Sunday through Saturday, and break it down in 15-minute increments every hour from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I'm just going to use this as my example as we kind of talk through this, and literally be crazy about it. So if at 7 o'clock you walk into the kitchen and make your cup of coffee, like that's your first 15-minute time block. And if at 7:15 you decide to go use the restroom, like you use the restroom and get ready for the day and take a shower, right? So be that crazy about it. If you take a 15-minute face social media break, make sure you record that. If you have a 30-minute drive to work, you're going to record that. Maybe in that 30-minute drive to work, what did you do? Did you just listen to the radio? Did you make phone calls? Did you listen to a podcast? Did you listen to an audiobook? Did you just take time for silence? Break each and every one of those activities down. And you don't have to do minute by minute unless you really want to get analytical about the data. But it seems to me like most people can be successful in this time study task by doing 15-minute increments, because you get a pretty good overall picture of your day and how the days flow during your 5 or 7 day period, or if you choose to go really crazy, your 14-day period, because it does give you a little truer picture of what your actual work week might look like. And as you start to go through this, the first time you do this, I don't want you to think about what you're doing in terms of like trying to analyze it. Save that for later. just be methodical about the system of writing that down and recording it. You're just capturing data at this point, right? We can't do any sort of addressing to any of the things that are going on through our week unless we've actually had an opportunity to assess it. And that's what we're doing first. First, we're going to collect all this data. And so at the end of that 5 days, 7 days, 14 days, whichever version you choose, because they all will work. And if you're like, I want to try 5 and then, well, I like what that showed me, but let's really see what it looks like over the 2 weeks, you can do that, or vice versa. You can start big and go small, and you can do it throughout the year. I like to do it maybe about 2 times a year because it gives me like a picture, because the years look different. We have seasons of things that are happening. So it's kind of nice to kind of just record it and make a visualization of what we have going on kind of throughout the year. If you really want to collect true data points, one might say that you should collect data points once a quarter at least, because then it gives you a true picture of what's actually might be going on throughout. After you completed this data and you have all these time slots and you have all of these things, go in there and kind of mark them with colors, and you can choose whatever color coding system you have, right? And maybe the first color is green. So what are all the green things? What are those things that kind of that bring you life? What are the things that are bringing you joy and bringing you energy? Mark all those things with green, and then go back with let's call it an orange or a red marker. I don't like to use red because it seems really negative, but it really stands out. And maybe mark all those things in red that's like are a detriment to your time. They suck the energy out of you. They're really heavy or really weighted on you. And then go back one more time and take a yellow or a blue or something like that. And all of those things that kind of just, they're just part of your day. You just have to do them. They just happen to happen. And then the rest of it, you just leave. And then take a look at that, like lay it out on on a table or on a countertop or somewhere where you can just kind of look at it from a glance and see what the balance of your colors are. Do you have a lot more green, or do you have a lot more red or orange, or do you have a lot more of that third color? And what is that telling you? So if you have a lot more of that green, it's telling you you're doing many of the things that bring you life, bring you joy. They're in your passion. You're in your zone of genius. They're the work that you love to be doing the most, right? Conversely, if you have a lot of orange or red, depending on which color you picked, maybe you're doing a lot of things that are weighing you down. So maybe you're finding yourself really tired at the end of the day or at the end of the week, or maybe when you get to Friday or the end of your work week, like you've kind of had enough of people or you've had enough of things and you just need to disconnect and shut down. Not to say that that's a bad thing, because we do need to recharge from our week and recharge. That's going to be for a different episode as part of this series. However, this gives you an awareness of maybe where some of that weight is coming from. And if you're really heavy in that other color, blue, yellow, whichever color you kind of choose, maybe there's some options for you to be picking where you need to be spending your time or where you need to be focusing, because we really are in life want to be trying to focus towards those things that bring us life, right? And we want to do those things more often because they make us happier. They give us more energy. Even if we have to spend a lot of time doing them, it doesn't suck the life out of us and we don't feel so drained physically and emotionally at the end of the day or at the end of the week, right? And what you're going to start to see, and if you take this data collection maybe 3-4 times a year, you're going to see that those colors are going to fluctuate. And depending on which part of each quarter you take them, they might fluctuate even more, because there are times that we have these fluctuations. And so that leads me to kind of my final thought as part of this part 1 of this series is, don't try to think of your weeks or your life in terms of balance, right? True balance, like we hear a lot of buzzwords of like work-life balance. Balance doesn't exist other than as a means to try to create some sort of equilibrium with what's going on in your world, right? So, but it takes a lot of things to make that balance happen. So think about standing on one foot. Pick your one foot off the floor and just stand there with one foot. You can't put your hands out or arms out or nothing. Just stand there. How much balance do you have, or how much work do you have to do to keep that balance happening, right? So what are some ways to make you stronger, give you more energy, give you more opportunities to be successful in creating that balance, because you're going to have a lot of things going on. There's going to become things coming at you all week. So make sure that you're thinking about those times that are giving you energy, that are taking energy, and that maybe kind of just sit somewhere in the middle. And what does that look like for you? So I'd love to hear your feedback. Like, what was this time study like for you? What did you do? What did you experience? Put in the comments below, or send me a message, or post on Facebook and say hashtag Rhythm of the Road podcast, and just tag me in it and say, hey, I did this and this is what I learned. Right. And then the subsequent episodes in this series, I want to talk a little bit more about now, what do we do with that information that we've assessed our time, assessed our energy, and had a little bit of thought around what that might mean for us during the week and during the month, during the quarter, and how we can impact our year, right? Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you've been here for a while, I greatly appreciate you. Please keep coming back. Do me a favor, share this with one other person. We're over 1,000 subscribers now on YouTube, so I greatly thank you. And my goal is to be over 2,000 by the end of 2024. So we're just over halfway, and we're just over halfway through the year. So we can do this. Thank you. Please keep joining in. If you're listening on an audio platform, please rate and review this. It helps other people find the podcast and lets other listeners like you take a listen and learn a little something. And I'll see you down the road.
Thanks for cruising with me on this episode of Rhythm of the Road. Remember, the journey itself is the destination. Until next time, keep the rhythm flowing, and we'll see you down the road.